Hello again. Welcome back to the Flyin Style podcast. I'm your host, Matt Mitchell, here with my co-host, Stephen Masley.
What's up, Matthew?
And we are back after a bit of a scary week, but we are still undefeated and are 5-0. So this past week, obviously, we played the Cardinals on Sunday, and it was a bit of a sloppy game. This was the first game that Eagles fans kind of got a little bit of a classic Philly scare. What do you think, Maz?
So going into it, I initially was a mark loss, and then you hyped me up to make it look like a blowout. But this is one of those type games where you're looking forward to the next week, and it's hard to not look at Dallas and then you're by. Like obviously Dallas is right there, and you're like waiting to get to that. But obviously they were trying to take it 1 week at a time, and all of the things that we've talked about were kind of exposed in this game. Not playing a full game, running the ball, just certain things that we're going to get into that we know they had trouble with. They were just all exposed. And the fact that we were able to get a win out of this game, honestly, wasn't because of how us. It was because the Cardinals kind of played crappy, in my opinion. But when both teams are playing crappy, we still came out on top. And I can't have that too many complaints of the overall outcome of the game, because at the end of the day, it's still in the win column. So still undefeated. And we got a lot to get into this episode.
Yeah, well, actually, real quick, just to counter you right there, I don't really think the Cardinals played bad. I actually think they played better than they have all season. I don't think they're a good team. I think that if we played our game, we should have bullied them. I really, really do. And I'll obviously get into that in the episode and why I still think that. But I thought that there's a lot to talk about with them. I think this game really brings. I think it's a good thing that this game happened. Especially before Dallas week. This game brought Philly fans back down to earth. You know, we had everybody in the city saying, "Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. Oh, we're the best team in the league. Oh, we're this, we're that. We haven't done anything wrong," including myself a little bit. I'm guilty to an extent. I got excited, but this game, and I'm still excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm by no means am I worried about anything, but this game absolutely brings fans back down to earth, shows them that we are not an unbeatable team. Things can go wrong. People can get hurt. We won't do things perfectly all the time. And the fact that we overcame adversity and still pulled through is incredible. We still got a win out of it. A win is a win, no matter how sloppy. But there's a lot of things that they have to work on. So getting into that, what do you think about the offense this week?
Offensively, we start off the game fantastic, right? We go right down the field, or after they got the ball first, they get basically a 3-and-out. They got a first down and they got a 3-and-out, and then we go right down the field, get a touchdown. Then we go right back on defense, get a pick, and then where our offense started to stagger a little bit, and only escalated that the rest of the game until the very end. We were throwing way too many screens. And you guys are trying to kill Devonta Smith. I don't know what they're doing on his pop screens. I don't know if they don't see him coming. The corner is only playing 5 yards out. And even when they were playing deep, we weren't doing it.
Dude, listen to me. I need to say this right now while you're talking about it. Can we please, for the love of God, abandon the RPO? I don't know about everybody else, but I am so sick of seeing the RPO on this team. I'm sick of the wide receiver screens. I'm sick of the RPO. And it's getting figured out. They're teams are starting to figure it out. I think that it doesn't put our receivers in a good position. We have three of the best run after catch players in the league. And getting them screens is not the way that we should get them in the open field and allow them to run. I've said it a million times. For some reason, we abandoned the middle of the field this game. We ran a million wide receiver screens. And we weren't running slants, we weren't running digs, we weren't using the damn middle of the field. And I didn't understand why. And it showed. I mean, A.J. Brown only got 3 receptions for 36 yards.
Yeah, and they're all in the first quarter. You said? They were all in the first quarter. It's ridiculous. And the thing about it is, when you are using RPOs, I understand why they're using it before Jalen showed his strides that he made as a capable, top echelon quarterback in this league. He has potential to do that. And the reason you RPOs is because you have a system quarterback that can't can't make plays for themselves or can't read the field. And Jalen has proved one time and time again this season that he can do that. I don't know why they went back to it. I 100% agree with you. It doesn't make sense to me.
So sick of it. And on top of it, another thing that goes into it is I'm sick of seeing Jalen Hurts designed runs. I know he's a running quarterback. I know he has the ability. I understand an occasional QB draw with him. But stop running him so much. It's week 5, and he's taken so many hits. He took a lot of bad hits this game. A lot. And I'm getting sick of seeing it. He's not going to last if we keep this pace up. He got the same amount of touches as Miles Sanders did this game. And that should never happen. The same amount of rushes, sorry, not touches. He had the same amount of rushes this game as Miles Sanders. Our quarterback should not be running the ball as many times as our running back.
No, I 100% agree. And I still even saw a stat on WIP bringing it up that he's on pace to get more like rushing touches like in the open field than Lamar did his MVP year. Like that's just because he's getting the ball so much. And he's taking these hits. And some of them I'm gasping for air. I'm like, get down. And it's obviously we love the dog in him and like fighting, but like what do you get? Like pass the first down and like it's 5 extra yards after that. Like you don't need to be taking a hit from Isaiah Simmons, or you don't need to be like these guys are gonna light you up if you let them.
Exactly, dude. I know he's one bad guy. I know he's tough. I know he's resilient. I know he wants to do it. But dude, like stop the RPOs. Run out of under center. You know, use your running backs on the freaking in first and goal situations. Like. Let your running backs run the ball in. I'm sick of seeing Jalen Hurts getting a ton of rushing touchdowns. I love it, obviously, but these plays where he's, in the big pile, getting trampled on, I'm just sick of it. It's going to add up, and I'm getting really sick of it.
No, another point. Can we run it under excuse my language, run it under center? Like, please, Lord Sirianni, run it under center for at least a point. Like, I'm just waiting for it. I'm hoping they do it. And they just keep running out of gun, and they're letting. I don't know what they're trying. They can't make play action out of that.
It makes so much of a difference running it under center in comparison to running it out of the gun. First of all, your running back gets a 5-yard head start on his rush immediately, running it under center. You're running it from the shotgun. You've got your running back to the right or left of you, stagnant, getting the ball with his feet still. It barely ever works. We should not be running the ball out of the gun every time we run the ball. No, Miles Sanders only got he did not get a lot of touches this week. Miles Sanders only had 15 touches this week. 15 touches for 58 yards the week after he came out and had a career game. Why? And most of those touches were in the fourth quarter. And I heard Sirianni in his postgame talking about the fact that he knew that the run game didn't get going. What do you mean the running game didn't get going? You have to make the running game go. Just because it's not working doesn't mean you abandon it the whole game. Run the damn ball. It sets up everything. And
even then, when we couldn't set up the run game because we're busy just throwing these stupid screens at Devonta Smith and getting him smacked. He's getting literally smacked and like dying out there. I mean, he's tough too, but like I love him, but like.
Dude, like, obviously, I know the screen works sometimes. Like, we got a few good ones to Dallas Goedert, and I get that. But we should be running that play maybe twice a game, tops. Not every other play.
Yeah.
I'm sick. I've been sick of it for years, and I'm growing more and more sick of it to this day.
Well, because we're only supposed to be better, right, Matt? Like, we're supposed to progress with better talent, and we have the talent to. And the fact that we could make plays with, like, make a screen basically the same way, but run Miles like toward it, like run Miles with it. That like we could do pitches, we could do tosses, we could do halfback screens. I don't know if we can because we don't run it under center. We refuse to, and I don't know why we do. It's not like it makes anything that much better. It's not the Big 12. We're not throwing it. The thing is we're not throwing it down the field, and we're still never going under center. I just can't comprehend that fact.
I know. I don't get it either. I think that it's just wasting our potential. And, it's not like Jalen Hurts had a bad game or anything. He was 26 for 36 with 239 yards, averaging 6.6 per attempt. He had to finish with a rating of 90. He didn't have a bad game, but when you abandon these other things, these other assets, like these other like facets of the game, like it just looked bad. It just didn't look dominant. It didn't look like we were beating them in any way. Like it just looked stagnant. And we're if we continue that kind of play, we're not going to see the same Eagles team we saw the first 5 weeks.
So the positive that took out of offense, and I know it was all negative, but we didn't have any turnovers, and I'll give credit to that to mostly Jalen Hurts for hanging on to the ball, Miles hanging on to the ball when he got it,
except for that drop pick.
Oh yeah, that was. But in the stat book and in the game, we didn't have any turnovers.
Agreed.
That could have easily just lost the game. However,
in a game this close, we have a turnover or two. That makes all the difference in the world.
And it's awful. We go up 14-0, and I don't know if you saw the stat. I know I did. Our offense overall in the second quarter, it has I think it was 80 points that we scored, most in NFL. And then the rest of the game, we have 30 total. And it's absolutely ridiculous that obviously I love that we have a great offense, but I just want to see it for 4 quarters. We've been begging for weeks to see 4 quarters of this offense, 4 quarters of this team. This was the worst. This was by far our worst week, by far. And it doesn't make me, I don't know. It's not making me scared. It's just why? I just ask why.
Well, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, that it is why, because I still stand by the fact that I don't think that we became worse as a team this week. I don't even think that we played worse than we usually do. I think that we abandoned the game plan that we've been successful with.
But that's what I'm asking why to.
I know. I don't get it either. There must have been, obviously, there's a lot that goes on in the film room. There's a lot that goes into game planning. A lot of people put their inputs into it. There must have been a reason in the Eagles room why they ran their coverages and their offensive schemes the way they did. Because I didn't agree with any of it. Well, I'll get to that, the defensive side of the ball too. But
Ford's out there again.
I didn't understand what the reason for what they did was. And I think that it's a very fixable thing. And once again, I want to mention that I think that this game against the Cowboys this week is probably the biggest game of the season. It will determine how the rest of the season will go. Agreed. Even if if we win, that makes us 6-0 and a hefty lead in the division, and it's a good look. It'll be a big morale win against the Cowboys of all people.
Well, not to mention our byes right after too, so we go right into the bye. So
exactly.
That's
if we lose this game,
point, even though
we lose this game, then we have a 3-way tie for first place in the division, and that's where things get dicey. Then it becomes a battle the rest of the season, and it's not we're not feeling comfortable the way we are right now. So it's a long season still. We still got a lot ahead of us.
It's so funny sitting here being 5-0. I don't think I've ever done it, and it's just we see the flaws in this team. I love it, and I love seeing it from this perspective because I haven't got mad about a loss yet, but this is the closest thing to it that it's just it bothers me because they can they have it you could see them losing this game you could see. Like the Vikings game, I had no chance of seeing them. I don't think another game.
Well, dude, I mean, if Kyler Murray doesn't slide behind the sticks and then clock the ball, then they're probably scoring a touchdown. They were driving on us.
We're throwing in balance to Ertz on that throw between the 30 and the 40. That was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
how open he was.
Speaking of, I forgot to mention that I wanted to mention this for anyone watching that didn't know. There was a mishap during the game where the scorers and the officials were not on the same page, and the scorers put on the scoreboard that it was 1st and 10 on the big scoreboard. Had it on the scorecard. Everything was 1st and 10. The officials stopped the game for a second to get that figured out, and then determined that it was actually 4th and 1.
3rd and 1. Then he spiked.
3rd and 1 to the spike. Yes, yeah, but. On top of that, Kingsbury was the one in Kyler's ear saying, clock it, clock it, clock it. So obviously a lot of mistakes were made there. The quarterback's got to know that he's not past the line, and he's got to know that if he's doing that, he's got to dive head first. Secondly, the coach, even if he's looking at the scoreboard, has to know the sticks. That's his fault. That's his fault.
Very sucks.
And, but there was a lot of confusion. I heard a lot of hate for Kyler on that. I feel like he should get the least amount of blame in the situation, but he's, like I said, he's still got to know. I think if you give that play to Jalen Hurts, that exact same play situation to Jalen Hurts, he's getting that first down 100%. He's not sliding. He's diving head first. He's getting past those sticks.
Well,
and Kyler's got to show a little more initiative on that end.
To your point, a rewind before that drive, when we went down, took 6.5 minutes off the clock, I saw Jalen stay in bounds. Like, he threw his body to stay in bounds. He knew Jalen knows what's going on, and I that's why I trust him. I love it.
He's a very smart player.
Like, that last drive was the only bright part of the second half, in my opinion. Would I like to be a touchdown? Obviously. However, we drove down and took 6.5 minutes, like I said, off the clock, which was ginormous, only leaving them with how much time they have left? 1:30?
Something like that. I forget.
To drive down the field. But either way, it was a big kick. It was only a 20-yard kick, but it matters. Dick of the kicker with the guy out of Texas coming in.
Never kicked in an NFL game before. You got to give him his
NFL
credit.
debut, baby.
He came in, had a job, and did it. And it's going to earn him a job with another team next week, maybe even the Cardinals, which is really funny.
It's 100% well, and you saw their kicker. Funny story about that. That's one of my dad's coworkers' sons, which is the funniest part. Yeah, my dad always told me to look out for this kid at Oklahoma State. I saw him go on the Jets, and he was like, I never thought he was good, but he kept it. He even got a chance at the Chiefs early this year, and he still wasn't good. And the Cardinals signed him, and then if you guys watch the game, you see him during pregame missing
almost everything past 40 yards.
He's missing the same. He missed the same spot. He missed the kick. Like, he didn't even adjust. He didn't even go left. He just kept going wide right. And I was like, well, I mean, I'll take it all day long. I'll take the win. But that's so funny. Poor guy.
All right. Well, we got to speed it up here. So let's get right to the defense now. I was also I was not as appalled, but the defense didn't do horrible. But the defensive scheme I thought was horrible. I thought we played soft and submissive. We let them dictate the way that the game was going to be played. We let them dictate the way that we ran our coverages. I just thought that it was so soft. We didn't run any blitzes. We didn't run stunts. We didn't play man coverage. We played a soft, lax zone the entire game, about 10 yards off the receivers. And we were just letting them pick up chunks. And I didn't get why we didn't adjust. I just didn't. What was so confusing?
Dude, when I see Slay and Bradbury, it felt like Jim Schwartz again. We're playing the sticks. And it was the most ridiculous thing because I don't know if it was the Hollywood touchdown they got it, but I'm like, they should do the screens that we're doing. Obviously we're playing 10 yards off the sticks. I didn't understand what we were doing.
It was baffling, dude.
Baffling to me.
We've shown, I don't understand what, like I just said earlier, obviously they probably had a game plan, probably had something to do with keeping Kyler in the pocket, but I don't understand how you I don't know, dude. I don't understand how you see the things we have success on and then just say, you know what? Let's run something completely different and see if that works. What? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And I know that they probably they over-adjusted for Kyler's running, but it's not like he's been going crazy this year running. I mean, he has that ability to. However, obviously they contained him, but we had one sack by Hassan Reddick. Shout out to you. But
I didn't even think they did a great job of containing him.
We didn't. He just didn't go. I was confused sometimes when he didn't go, and he would just throw it down anyway. Kyler didn't play well.
I didn't think we didn't get pressure on him. We didn't force him. We didn't force him to be uncomfortable. We let him sit there and make his little nest back there. And we just weren't aggressive. And that's what our defense is all about. Our defense is a brand of aggressive defense. We play man coverage, press coverage, we blitz, we run stunts. We've got these big, strong, fast guys. We got a great star-studded defense. Why the hell are we playing lax like that?
And this tells the entire story because we mentioned this before. Guess who got the most tackles, Matt, on the team? on our defense.
Oh yeah, was it Gardner? I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was Gardner, and then it was Slay,
We're
and then
making plays in the second level.
It was T.J. Edwards. T.J. Edwards did have a decent game. I liked how he played again. And then it was Epps.
Another person that played a really good game was Jordan Davis. This might have been his best game yet, actually.
They have to give him more snaps.
Another game where he's not showing up on the stat sheet, but he's making a big difference.
They have to give him more snaps. I want him more. I want him more than he is. He's only been getting he's playing, he's made an impact.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But to that point, it's like give him more stats, but get more pressure. Like, I just want to see these. I just didn't think our D-line existed until Reddick got that sack, until Davis got that tackle, until T.J. Edwards made that tackle for loss against who's their backup running back? Benjamin, whatever his name is.
Benjamin, yeah.
But it doesn't. I just don't know. We have these guys, and we're just like, I just don't know why we're playing back. I guess let Kyler beat us, but
it just felt like we literally just we've been talking about how we got all these guys, we have all this talent. It felt like they just ignored all that and decided not to. This whole season we've been playing to our players' abilities. We've been using our players and allowing them to play to the best of their comfort zone and their abilities. AJ Brown, we've been letting him get in the middle, get the ball, run after the catch. Same with Goddard. We've been doing a mix of Devontae Smith because he's a mixed guy. And we've got these guys on defense that can blitz and rush the quarterback and love run and we've got these athletic guys, and we're not using them to Slay and Bradbury are Bradbury's actually more of his own guy, but he's obviously both. We've got two of the best corners in the league, and we're not running any man coverage. Make these guys beat us. Make them beat us. Not beat our why are we beating ourselves here and letting them play their game?
It makes too much sense to say it out loud. It looks like we're playing with Jalen Mills and X out there as our other cornerback.
It felt like watching the Eagles of last year again.
It did. And it made me, it just irked. It obviously irks us because we know we're better than that now. And we've seen it be better. And it doesn't make sense.
They have the capability of playing on a whole different level, and they just didn't look like they did that this game. Once again, we mentioned before the game that this was probably going to be a trap game. This was going to be a trap game. It was going to be we obviously predicted the blowouts because I felt like we should have. But you were right. It absolutely was a trap game. These guys aren't a bad team, but they're not a good team. They have talent, but don't put it all together most of the time.
They should have beat us. I don't know, Matt. I don't know. I know we mentioned at the beginning.
We absolutely got lucky, but like Kelsey and Sirianni said, a win is a win, and it's about who toughs out the other person longer. And obviously, they made mistakes at the end. A win's a win. Yeah. It doesn't just come down to that one moment. The whole game matters. If they really wanted to win, they should have scored more. It's the entirety of a game. Yes, those moments matter a lot, but you can't say, oh, they lost that game because Kyler slid before the first down marker. No, they lost that game because they didn't score enough points the rest of the game. Our defense did play pretty well. Our offense played pretty well. But they didn't look like the good team that they're supposed to be.
Can we talk about Britton Covey real quick? I know you said to me earlier this year, oh, don't worry, he's supposed to be that guy. Dude,
I thought
why did he call that fair catch?
I don't know.
He just gets.
He's been scaring me too. Trust me.
What is he even why is he out there? I don't get it. I can't say it up for anymore.
Because of what I told you, because he's got that breakaway speed, and
I'm crapping on him now. He hasn't done anything.
He's not doing anything right now, and he's made a lot of mistakes already. I agree that I think that they should be. I don't think that he should just lose his job. I'm not that kind of person to say that, but I think they should start looking at other people. Maybe it'll boost. Maybe it'll boost him to start working harder, trying harder, keeping his spot, because he doesn't have a spot on this team if he's not the kick returner.
I mean, yeah, but it's like I can't have him out there not calling a fair catch when there's a guy running at you full speed and there's no one blocking him and you're going to get literally murdered. He's always getting crushed. I just want to, I mean, maybe he's used to that in college, but
we haven't mentioned it much this year. We haven't mentioned it much this year, but because it really hasn't mattered in terms of the Eagles' success, but our special teams are atrocious. Outside of Jake Elliott, our special teams stink, like in almost every way. Our coverage teams, our kicking, our special teams are pretty bad, dude.
Our coverage is not that bad. Sean Bradley's pretty good.
It's not terrible, but I don't know, dude. I think our special teams is pretty subpar.
I think our returning is not
like just for an example, that play that everyone forgot about in last week's game, where they did the fake punt on 4th down.
That was ridiculous,
dude. But these are things that have to be considered. Like,
yeah,
no,
you're right. They should have. What was it? 4th and 6. It was the camera guy didn't even get ready for it. He was like, everyone thought they were punting. Even like everyone thought they were punting.
I apologize that I don't have exact stats to back it up, but the way I've seen it this year, I really just don't think that special teams have been good at all. I've heard bad things about the special teams coach. I haven't seen adjustments to anything. It feels like every time for the past however many years since Deshaun Jackson, we haven't had a good punt returner, and nothing has been done to change how they return. Like, it's such a simple, like, I feel like every time you've ever seen a kick returner score a touchdown on a kick return or a punt return, they go straight up the middle.
Yeah.
Almost every time.
No,
but for some stupid reason, we have never gotten a kick returner that's willing to do that. They all run side to side and play dancey games and like to do their little dance down there before the players get there. Like, I don't understand what the big idea is.
They keep watching The Miracle in the Netherlands and think they're Deshaun Jackson, but no one's.
Yeah, guess what he did? He ran right up the freaking gut.
He's a beast, so he can do whatever he wants.
He literally ran right through the middle.
Yeah, our special teams, to your point, I don't have any stats either, but they haven't done anything good.
No, they haven't. They have not. But all right. It was a tough game. We have our feelings on it. We're a little bit upset, only because we think they should have been better. I still stand by the fact that they should have demolish this team.
One more point. Can we learn how to tackle again? Like, we got to go back. We got to learn how to tackle. That Hollywood touchdown literally makes me so we have to just go back a step. Sirianni, we have to tackle.
I hate to break it to you. We've been a good defense, but we're really not a very good tackling. We've never had a horrible
tackling team.
Yeah.
And when it gets past the line of scrimmage, like it did this game, we're playing a soft zone and we can't tackle. Everyone's like, "Oh, we can't tackle." Yeah, we haven't been able to tackle, and we have to get that down. It's ridiculous. Sorry, I know we're done talking about the game.
No, we're not done talking about the game.
We can breathe out. We can breathe out, Matt.
We can breathe out. Once again, reminder: we are 5-0, still the number 1 team in the NFL. This was a frustrating game, but it was an eye-opener. It shows the team what they have to work on, what they need to do, and what kinds of things do and don't work. We need games like this to allow us to grow and benefit from. And on top of that, this is a game that we're looking at like it was a loss. It's still, like I said, it's still a win. This is a game that we should have lost and we still won, which is also a really good sign. Playing our worst brand of football, we still won the game.
Yeah.
So Eagles fans, don't fret, don't be scared.
Yeah,
I don't think that there's a problem yet.
But
we can't. I know. I didn't. I just mean that.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I think this will be an eye opener, not just to us, but to the team. And I'm hoping once again. I can't call every game a blowout just because we have such an easy schedule, but I think I think we'll be looking for revenge off of last year. They're bringing Cooper Rush in against the the 5-0 Eagles at home on prime time.
Oh, I can't.
And on top of that, Dak's in a spot where they're not even sure if he can. He might be able to come back, he might not. He probably could play, but they're not sure. The fact that they're putting Cooper Rush in means that they're almost scheduling this as an L. They're not scheduling it as an L. That might be harsh terms. Wow. But if they really felt like this was a game that they really needed to be competitive in and needed this win, I feel like they'd be putting Dak in the game, but I could be wrong.
I mean, we'll talk about more next episode, but just to make one point, they did. I don't think they expected to go 4-0 Cooper Rush.
I agree. Fair. I think if they win this game with Cooper Rush, there's a chance that they might start asking questions.
No, Jerry would never do that because he's a piece of crap. Anyway, let's not go into too much of that game. That's a preview for next episode. It's gonna be a great preview to
That'll be a
Dallas,
big one.
Dallas week.
On top of Dallas week, I also just wanted to point out for the fans that this is also Masley week because I'm playing Masley in both fantasy leagues that we are in this year. So
in both leagues.
Yeah, well, Masley's undefeated in one, but I have a lot more points on my team, so I think this is gonna be his L week. But anyway, let's jump into Thursday Night Football.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about this game.
Such a lovely game, isn't it?
It's
Aren't we excited?
Commanders versus the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Woo!
Such an exciting game. I'm so sick of these Thursday night games. They've all been cruddy. But either way, we got to make our picks. So, who do you want to go with this week?
I'm going with stupid. I just don't like the Bears. I don't like them. They played very well last week against the Vikings, to be honest. Obviously, they covered and I lost. However, I think Carson got thrown under the bus. Will probably hurt him more, honestly, knowing him, but it should fuel him up.
Yeah, if you compare it to anything he did in Philly, lighting a fire under him isn't exactly his best motivation.
Not his best effort, but his post-game response gave me a little bit of hope. I don't really have much hope in this Washington team at all, but I have less hope in the Bears, so I'm going to go with the Commanders.
You've been saying that all year, but the Bears really haven't been playing that bad of football. I mean, they're not. I don't think they're a good team either. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're as bad as you think they are. But on that note, I am taking the Bears in this game. I think that considering the comment you just said and the comments Rivera made about Wentz, I think that is not going to help him. I think that's going to really hurt him and mess with his head as it did in Philly. And I think they're gonna. I think they're all over the place. They're discombobulated. They're worried about being in the division where there's a 5-0 team and 2 4-1 teams, and they're 1-4. So,
yep.
Yeah, they're in freak out mode right now, and I think that the Bears are going to pull away with this one. And we will update you on our season records come next episode. Not a good week for Matthew Mitchell over here. I'm sorry that I've been picking such bad picks this year. I am going to try to turn it around in the second half of the season, but I did go 0-3 this past week, so not a great look.
You guys can blame Matt for the Eagles not covering, by the way, and making it such a close game.
That's probably my bad.
Anyway, guys, go Birds. We're still 5-0. Best team in football. Oh, it's okay. Dallas, we come up next. I can't wait for next episode.
Absolutely. What Masley said, we're still 5-0. The best team in the NFL as of right now. I think we will be come the end of the season as well. I think you should too. And this week is Dallas week. Huge week, exciting week. And we will get into that come the end of this week. So this has been the Flyin in Style podcast. I'm your host once again, Matthew Mitchell, and this is my co-host, Stephen Masley.
Signing off,
and go Birds. We will see you soon.
Go Birds.